What's up, guys? It's Crash, and I want to talk to you guys about Arena Breakout Infinite. It has been an awesome game since they took out all the pay-to-win stuff, added some of the new content, and the most latest season that's brought it to Steam has been a ton of fun with that game. But I wanted to talk about something that has been teased recently by the lead producer Enzo Zhang over on X. He has posted screenshots of a new map, and why this is really interesting to me. I love maps. I think they add so much replayability to all these games, but the maps in Arena Breakout Infinite, which is an extraction shooter, if you guys haven't heard of it too much, have been really good. There's a wide variety of maps. You have little ones, you have big ones, you have, all kinds of different settings and things like that, like urban type ones with TV station inside of a building, all the way to big open ones like Northridge and stuff like that. So when they add new maps to this is awesome. But I kind of thought they were always going to follow the mobile game cadence. If you guys don't know, Arena Breakout has a mobile game that was out before Infinite, which is the PC port, and I thought it would just kind of follow along that cadence. There are a couple maps that are on the mobile version that are not yet in PC, and I thought we were just going to follow that track. But surprising to me, a couple days ago, Enzo tweeted concept art of a brand new exclusive map to PC, which looks really awesome. And there's also, maybe I might be reaching here, if you guys want to stay tuned, there might be some kind of shot at Tarkov in here somewhere. They've gone back and forth on Twitter before. I don't know. I'll lay out what I have in my head and see what you guys think about where this map could have originated from. But I wanted to look at some of the concept art and see. I've heard people say it is a larger scaled map, which is pretty cool. People that have presumably maybe tested over on X, that is a larger map. You guys can see the cover down here below, the elevated walkway. Presumably this giant airport terminal is going to be the area of like a lower area, a higher area, so multi-level. Not sure if you're gonna be able to get into the third floor. This looks like an extract point. It could just be concept art, but generally when you're playing the game, the red smoke means an extract point, but it looks pretty cool. There are other outbuildings and things like that. Off the top of my head, I know it's its own game. It's really hard not to compare it to Tarkov, but it almost feels like it would be kind of like an interchange map where you have kind of the outside area and then the giant main middle point, which on interchange is the mall, but on here is an airplane terminal, which is also funny because Tarkov for 1.0 is supposed to get another new map called Terminal as well. So interesting parallels between these two games, which I will get to in just a little bit. But looking back here in the background, it also seems like this might be on the edge of the map, which would be very interesting, because if we look back here, it almost looks like there's the airplanes back here, but this almost looks like water or something. There's not much going on back behind it. So that seems like it could potentially be the edge of the map, which would be a little bit weird if one of the main POIs was actually the edge of the map, which leads us to some of these, because what I mean by that is usually the main big buildings are in the middle. Everybody spawns outside. You run into the middle, kind of like Armory in this game. But maybe this is something that's more in the middle. You can see this big giant building in here, which could potentially be another Russian location, which I will get into. But there are going to be also, according to this tweet, which we'll look at in just a second, other ways to extract that we haven't dealt with before. But the concept art looks really cool. You can't knock the design and art team on this. It's really fleshed out, looks really cool. I love this dystopian gritty feeling to the game. Then here is the inside, and we can also see the world building for this game is just really different. You have like NPCs that sometimes have like a South American accent. You have Southern American accents, like kind of redneck sounding guys, and all over the place with different like Spanish type accents and things like that. And then you go in here in this terminal, and these are like really old machines. So it's almost like an old area, like an old time historic video game, but like the gear and stuff you wear is new. So the timeline for this game is like all over the place in my opinion, but this looks like really cool spot inside some of the terminals and the control areas where you can fight, reminiscent of TV station in the game as well. And then here is presumably another building. So let's just kind of kick this off. Why I think that this setting is incredibly interesting and might be a shot at Tarkov, because I feel like there's a chance, I don't know if you guys want to clip it and ship it when I say this, but there's a chance that Arena Breakout Infinite gets Terminal before Escape from Tarkov gets Terminal, which would be really weird, because there is no doubt about this. I will show you where I think this takes place in the real world, and spoiler alert, it's Russia. So if you guys look at this behind me, you see this rocket. This looks like a cosmonaut museum that is from Russia. You guys can see a similar rocket at the end of a sculpture. That's what is being potentially portrayed right here with this, as well as you have Russian writing over everything. But I think the main building, so if we look at this main big architecture shot of the main terminal building, this really looks like this airport. I can't remember the Sheremetyevo International Airport in Russia. You have this kind of blocky style structure. This is older, before they rebuilt it, and you have kind of the elevated road, and you can see a little bit closer here with the elevated road, cars and everything going on down here. Some of these streets actually line up somewhat similar to the concept art, as well as if you look at it back in the day when this presumably took place, you still have kind of that blocky texture. The cars down here, it has those two roads plus the parking lot. You kind of see that in these images right here. You see the two roads and then the parking lot, presumably. So those kind of line up, and that's just kind of where it looks like this potentially takes place. So it's kind of crazy that Tarkov 1.0 coming out in essentially November is supposed to have a terminal map added to 1.0, and then you have Arena Breakout Infinite, who has constantly taken shots at that game, potentially coming out with their own Russian airport terminal map around the same time. Because if you go off of the cadences for the launch of the game, we should probably expect the next season of Arena Breakout Infinite sometime in November, around the same time that Tarkov 1.0 launches. But this game is free, and again, man, I've had a really good time playing Arena Breakout Infinite. You can truly experience the entire thing for free. You don't have to buy any of the cosmetics. You can't buy in-game currency, so you really don't have an advantage if you pay money anymore, as well as the fact that there's just so much quality of life stuff that focuses on combat. There's new content quite often, and it's been a lot of fun. And the way you don't have to know life, Arena Breakout Infinite has also been really fun. There are no wipes, and the way you're shielded from coming against chads, you might think, well, there's no wipes, there's got to be gajillionaires in the game and I'm never going to be able to compete with them. There are modes like normal and lockdown that have gear caps, so you won't come across people with ridiculous gear all the time like you would in Tarkov if you come in late to a wipe. So that's pretty cool. But the other thing of note that I thought was, in here he says, in the upcoming season we'll be introducing a brand new large scale, that's where you hear it's large scale, around a massive airport with unique exploration and extraction mechanics exclusive to it. So we're going to see new ways to extract whenever we play this game mode. But anyway, guys, I've been having enough fun. I thought it was worth talking about. This airport map looks really sick, and it should be fun to check out in a few months. I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying Battlefield. We got Arc Raiders playtest coming up. There's so much going on within the shooter space that I just like making videos about it. I'm glad you like watching them, and I'd love to see you on the next one.